All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Michael Walters. This is Mike Talks Sports, episode 5. And today I am going to be talking a little bit about the Knicks and their recent winning streak. And I'm also going to dive a little bit on the Nets winning their first game of the season. So let's get this show on the road. All right. So before I talk about the Knicks, I will talk about the Brooklyn Nets. Before their recent game, which was Wednesday, they were actually 0-7 to start the season. They were officially the worst team in the league. And I'm not going to lie, they were playing against another terrible team in the Indiana Pacers. And I thought the Pacers were actually just going to beat the Nets because they actually still had, even though they have a lot of injuries, they still can beat certain teams. They almost beat the Bucks, for example. But the Nets, they came in there and they didn't blow them out. They actually won the game. Part of it is because in the beginning of the game, one of their, I'm not going to say best players, but one of their good players in Cam Thomas revealed that he hurt his hamstring. And because of that, they actually end up winning. But this tells me that obviously, I've been saying it from last year, the Nets are better without Cam Thomas. I'm going to be honest. Cam Thomas, all he loves to do is shoot the three. Most of the time, he just wants to shoot. He doesn't want to play no defense. He doesn't want to pass it to his teammates. And because of that, they've lost a boatload of games last season because of his selfishness. I'm not saying that, he needs to change the way how he plays, but if you want the team to succeed, you have to have a winning mindset. But part of it is because I have to be honest, but the Nets really have a losing mentality. All they care about is tanking for a top pick. Like, I don't know. Yes, next year's draft is going to be like massive, and they say it's going to be very guard and wing heavy. So they want to get like more players in that department. But I don't know. The Brooklyn Nets, I feel like, yes, part of the reason why they're playing the way how they're playing is because the front office wants them to tank. Like, is this going to be, the question is this going to last for another season? Because, yes, you're doing it for this season. What about next season? Next season, are you going to tank again? Because I can tell you this. A lot of Brooklyn Net fans have switched over to the New York Knicks side. And I'm not going to lie. For the past couple of seasons, whenever the Knicks play in Barclays, the Net fans will usually boo at their own fans. And they will cheer for the Knicks. So it's like, I don't know. Like, the Brooklyn Nets got to make that decision. After next season, you got to make a decision on whether or not you want to be a winning team or a losing team. And that's all I have to say on the Brooklyn Nets. All right, so right now, I'm going to talk about the New York Knicks. Okay, so after their 3-game losing streak on the road, when they lost to they lost to the Miami Heat last week, then the Bucks, then the Bulls in Chicago, and basically this week they've actually won 3 games in a row. They beat Chicago in the Garden. They beat they beat the Wizards in the Garden, and just recently they beat the Timberwolves on national TV, blew them out like by 23 points. So it's like, as I see, because they say that the Knicks are going to have 4 more games at home. I'm not going to lie, this is a good time for them to build chemistry. I see now even Mike Brown knows who he should use in his rotation. That is a good thing. And I still see that the bench is playing a big role in those wins. Those 3 games, I've noticed McBride has played better. Clarkson has played better. Even Hart, who is dealing with, they say with his hand, they say it's actually nerve damage. And this dude on Wednesday was shooting 4 for 6 from the 3-point line. He was shooting very efficiently and he's dealing with ankle problems, knee problems, and a broken finger, and he's giving you all that good production. I'm not gonna lie, it takes guts to play with all those nagging injuries. But the thing is, I've been saying this for a while. If the Knicks want to win games, Hart has to play 100%. Well, right now, people are saying he should get the surgery, but he said he's going to try to play through it. I'm not going to lie. If he gets more comfortable playing with the split on his finger, I feel like he will be fine. But like what I saw from last year, some teams, they will attack the finger. They did it to Towns last year in his thumb. They attacked his thumb and it affected him. So all I have to say is, Hart, protect yourself, because some of these teams will go after that finger. So you just gotta like play it safe. So, and also I'm also gonna be talking about another player who has been playing good so far for the Knicks. Not a lot of people give him enough credit, but it's Landry Shamet. I'm going to be honest. Last year when he signed with the Knicks and then he got cut because he dislocated his shoulder, but he actually made a comeback last year. Like, after deciding not to get surgery on a dislocated shoulder, he came back and he actually was a big addition to the team. He gave 3-point shooting and defense, but in the playoffs, he didn't really get that much minutes because, of course, Thibodeau, who was coach at the time, he wanted to only run like a 7 or 8-man rotation in the playoffs. And then I would say until the Eastern Conference Finals, that was when Shamet proved his worth to the team. And then even after they fired Thibodeau and hired Mike Brown, they decided to keep Shamet in training camp because they know, obviously, he knows the team already. And also, he's a good 3-point shooter. And also, he's a good defender at times. And I've noticed in the recent games, he's actually hitting his 3-pointers. Like, even Mike Brown is even putting him in the starting lineup in some of these games as well. And that's a good thing, too. So, because it gives him more confidence, because he has a coach that actually believes in him. Because that's the one thing that I like about Mike Brown. He believes in his bench. Thibodeau was too stubborn and he never wanted to play his bench. I know people are saying, oh, Mike Brown is like a new version of a David Fitzdale. He is not like Fitzdale. Fitzdale was coaching at a time when the Knicks were losing a bunch of games, when the Knicks were in a rebuilding/tanking phase. Mike Brown specifically said when he was introduced as a new coach that he wants to bring a winning culture to New York that produces championships. Like, let me say that again. Championships. The man was an assistant coach under Steve Kerr when they had Durant, Clay, Draymond, and well, that was really it. The death lineup that they had in Golden State. Like, they were winning championships, and he was the assistant coach, well, the associate head coach under Steve Kerr with the Warriors. So Mike Brown has that winning culture, already. But that's not all. That's not all. He was also coach of the Cavaliers with LeBron in his earlier years. He also coached Kobe. So it's like he has already coached teams with big superstars already. So I know he can make the Knicks into a team that could win championships. And just recently, that game against the Timberwolves proves that when the team is fully healthy, they can beat anyone. The Timberwolves were fully healthy, and they got blown out by the Knicks in the Garden. Like, I don't know. The Knicks are trying to send a message to the NBA. This year is our year to make it to the finals. And I believe that the Knicks, they are going to make it to the finals. I don't know if they're going to win. Only time will tell. But that's my prediction for the season going forward. All right, so I have reached the conclusion of today's episode. Hopefully, next episode will be a little longer than this one. So This is Mike Talks NY Sports. I'm Michael Walters. Have a good day. Goodbye.